So I want to start talking more about this stuff. Um, Graphene and what is its role playing? Where does it come from? I've read into different things about it. But you see it always in these movies. It's symbolized coming from a different place other than planet Earth, almost extraterrestrial. And so, you know, graphene mimics. I've had dreams about this stuff, seen it. Basically, it's even like those. There was a show I remember where they took this liquid and they poured it over these magazines, and basically it mimics anything it touches, kind of like how narcissistic people do. They mimic anything they come into contact with, and they extract from them, but they extract out energies versus graphene extracts anything it touches. So for a magazine, it would extract out anything that was on that magazine and make it its own, but it would be filled with the corruption. When I was talking about creatures birthed out of corruption, graphene, it not only extracts it and clones it or recreates it, mimics it, but it fills it with what it is, which is corruption. And graphene does. Now, these high-ranking scientists and elitists know this stuff. They'll never reveal it to people, but they do know that graphene does come from dark matter. Well, the graphite, but it always shows it comes from a meteorite or somewhere other than this planet. Graphene comes from dark matter. Dark matter, I'll leave it to your own conclusion, to people, whatever belief. You can call it me being religious or whatever else, but probably heard of the theory about the entities and how the universe and the ocean connect, and how they've, at the certain depths of the ocean, they've seen like humanoids and these different things going in and out, and there's been people who have signed documents, NDAs, stating they can't reveal anything they've seen at certain points of the ocean. And there's a lot of paranormal things that even happen at the bottom of the ocean in certain areas. And they've said that the universe and space connects with the ocean, because they've seen the same beings in space as they've seen in the ocean, supposedly. And so dark matter, or graphene, I tend to think of it, it's like a substance that it's of its own, basically, but it mimics, it extracts, it recreates it, but can't create anything of its own source. It can't create anything natural. It just mimics and it recreates, it clones. It extracts, it clones, it mimics whatever else. But think of it as something, it's like Venom. It's just like no different than Venom and Spider-Man. It's like it's extraterrestrial. So, and I tend to always say there's life in graphene, just like there's life in blood. You ever heard the phrase, there's life in blood, there's also life in graphene. And I could get into other videos talking about how it correlates with, they just made this other show. I'd seen parts of it. It's called Dark Matter. And they always, Hollywood and everything, always use this as symbolism for a reason. Because I do honestly believe it ties in with the oaths of Islam, the Illuminati, Freemasonry, and all these other things. And what is coming eventually over our world. But I do believe it's going to be stopped eventually. Maybe even before it even happens, or maybe right when it just happens, it'll be stopped. But I personally, I don't know, things are revealed to me by like connections by lines I've seen drawn out spiritually, so in the unseen. And I can tell you these things, dark matter, graphene, all these things connect. But think of it, it's extraterrestrial, so fire and ice, so